Three types of food you should never reheat. Now, of course, with Indian food, Chinese food, when you have a takeaway, it tastes so much better the next day. But there are three things that honestly you should always avoid because it leads to a miserable meal. The first one is bread, but in particular, puri bread. Puri bread is essentially deep fried whole wheat bread that you stick it in the fryer. The thing is, obviously, in the initial meal, it's crispy, it's flaky, it's full of grease, which is oh so tasty. But on the next day, when you then go to reheat it, it wilts, it becomes soggy. All that grease and all that oil literally seeps into the bread, and the result is you don't get like a fluffy pastry bread like you have here. It becomes a very soggy, almost like you're eating a kitchen rag. The second thing you should never reheat is, of course, prawns. Now, the reason I say this is because, yes, prawns do reheat and they do reheat well, but the problem is the next day they become so dry. If you've ever had a prawn curry and you've recooked it in the microwave the next day, it's almost like eating a rubber. Now, if you do want to try and minimize some aspect of rubber eating meal, the best thing you can do is reheat the prawns in a pan, but it will still be quite dry because you've already cooked it initially through. Because remember, even when you initially cook the prawns, even if you cook at home, prawns you flash cook, you shallow cook it very quickly. So why would you recook that in a microwave? And the last one, this is completely up to you in terms of personal preference, but I try and avoid it, is vegetable-like curry. So for example, like a Bombay aloo, or in our case, what we have here, which is a mixed vegetable bungalow curry at Paro. The thing is yes, it does taste okay, but the problem is the vegetables. When you initially cook it, you parboil it and then pan fry it. It doesn't reheat very well because all of that moisture is trapped. When you then cook it, the result is two things. Number one, it becomes stale, it becomes soggy, but also the more starchier vegetables, like for example, like potato, they become like mush. So when you enjoy it the next day, you can't tell what's sauce, you can't tell what's potato, and you can't tell the individual seasonings that have gone into each individual item when you parboil it. Now, of course, when you do reheat takeaway food, you can have an amazing meal. I've already done a short TikTok on that, but essentially, puri, mixed vegetables, prawns, avoid them.